Are you ready to listen to the story of your past, present, and future? To fully understand the story of the human soul that will free the mind from asking why that happened to me and what will happen in the future. The story of humankind can only be related by the Supreme Soul, the one who remains always outside of the story and is able to see it clearly. When you experience being the soul and listening to the teachings of the Supreme Soul, you are able to make sense of what happens to you and to all human souls. So let us listen today to the teachings of the Supreme Soul in the awareness of being an eternal and divine soul. Each soul is a part of the family of souls, and all souls are invisible to the physical eye. It feels like each and every one is like a tiny, tiny point of light. So let us connect the intellect with the subtle reality of the soul and the Supreme Soul, whilst we are listening to these words of wisdom. There is a praise of you, elevated souls, having two authorities in your hands: the authority of ruling and the authority of religion. Those who are kings now will have a right to the kingdom in the future. Souls who are embodiments of behavior at this time will attain the authority of religion. The authority of ruling means to be an embodiment of all rights. A soul who has the authority of ruling will, through having all rights, be able to use all his physical and subtle powers as and when he wants. This authority is a sign of the authority of ruling. The second sign of those who have the authority of ruling is that they will have every task carried out with law and order. To have the authority of ruling means to have the power to sustain everyone as their mother and father. The authority of ruling means to be always full of everything oneself and also to keep others full. To have the authority of ruling means in particular to have all attainments, to have happiness, peace, bliss, and love, to be full of the treasures of all virtues. The authority of ruling, being a king now, being a king in the future. When you realize that it is a soul, the one that becomes a king, and not your part, not the role that you are playing now. And the soul can have the authority of ruling over the senses, It is not ruling over people or matter. It is ruling over your mind. And being able to observe what is it that pulls you, where are your eyes attracted, what kind of words do you speak that you like not to speak, what kind of actions are challenging you. All of that are the first step in becoming a ruler once again. When you start with self-observation, you are aware of your interests, of your tendencies to look more in that direction, to speak less to that person, to eat more of that kind. That means that the physical senses are still ruling you. You are not ruling your vision, but the vision is pulling you towards certain colors, certain shapes. You are not ruling your smell or your hearing sense, but whatever you hear is pulling your attention. Not only that is pulling you, but it makes you react. You hear your name in a gathering and you feel that, oh, they are speaking about me. And immediately you go and ask, why are you speaking about me? What is happening here? That means you are not the ruler. And to be the ruler means to realize that you have all the rights, and you have all the rights over the physical senses, all the rights over your mind, and all the rights in the spiritual world. Here, the part that you play may be with ups and downs. Today you are praised, tomorrow you will be defamed and criticized. Someone who is a true spiritual ruler knows that they have all the rights in the spiritual reality. They know that they are loved by the Supreme Soul. They know they belong to the family of souls, and they are not troubled by the fact that today or tomorrow someone will defame your part in this unlimited drama. When you are able to sustain others as a mother and a father, mother and father are sustaining their children with food, with connections, with advices, with wisdom, and also with entertainment, making their life interesting. So when you are aware that you are planting the seed of knowledge in the minds of many others, you have to continue to look after the seeds that you have planted. That seed will give rise to a sapling. You have to provide some sustenance to help that souls who are starting the spiritual journey, to help them with knowledge in such a way that they can understand it. You have to make it interesting. You have to explain it and repeat it again and again. You have to find examples from your life. And most important, you will sustain others by being an example yourself. A mother and a father are the greatest sustainers because they are a support for everyone in the household. They cannot say, I am teaching you about patience, but I myself am not patient with you. No, the mother is the embodiment of patience, the embodiment of mercy, the embodiment of kindness and giving. So, sustaining others will give you the relationship with them in such a way that in the future they will be willing to sustain you, they will be willing to be with you, they will have that pure, natural feelings for you because you have supported them at the time of need. Also, authority of ruling means that you are aware of being consistent, being one, being united inside yourself. You cannot be pushed and pulled into different directions. And one moment your mind is in that direction, next moment you want something else, next moment you tell something different. That will confuse you and will confuse everyone else. No one will want to be in such a kingdom. No one will want to be in such a company of someone who cannot make up their mind. If you keep changing your mind, if you keep having desires that are conflicting, if you do not know what you want yourself, how can you help anyone to achieve their goal? So, to have unity in your inner world, to have consistency, and also to be able to implement law and order in your world. When you are able to apply the law with yourself, then you gain the respect of many others. They will feel they can trust you. If you only speak about law and order and you want to apply it on others, you want others to respect the law, you want others to obey the principles that you are teaching, but you are not able to live under law and order. You yourself are not following the principles of life. Or, very often, you yourself cannot see when you made a mistake and to punish yourself. There is no other way. Unless you recognize that you have been careless today, and then being able to create that situation where you refrain from a certain pleasure. Maybe you like to have 2 cups of coffee, but you realize that that coffee makes you careless or lazy. And you say, okay, today no coffee. Today no cake. Today no TV. Unless you are able to apply that to yourself and reduce the extent of pleasure that you used to indulge in that pleasure, means you're not able to apply law and order for yourself. Mistakes are possible. Carelessness is still present in the life of most spiritual effort makers. Laziness is still present. But as soon as you see it, you have to be able to apply the law with yourself and stop it immediately. And also remove that little extra pleasure that you are offering yourself. That can be your own little punishment. But you show to others that you apply law and order in your life, first of all. They will trust you. They will be willing to listen. They will be willing to follow. If all of these are in place, then you can say that, yes, I am seriously and joyfully and playfully working on being a true king. A true king means a king of my inner world. I am the master of my mind. I am the master of my senses, and I can set a good example for many others. When all of these are happening, the spiritual knowledge would say, Yes, in the future, you will be a king. You are a king now, and you will be a king in the future as well. Let us listen a little bit more from the words of wisdom. In the same way, to have the authority of religion means to experience yourself to be a soul who has the power of dharma. For instance, to experience yourself to have the power of the dharma of purity. With the power of purity, you become constantly and supremely worthy of regard. With the power of purity, you transform the impure world. The power of purity cools down souls who are burning in the fire of vices. The power of purity liberates souls from the bondage of their sinful actions of many births. Those who have the authority of a religion will be humble in every act they perform. To the extent that they are full of their dharma of virtues, that is, to the extent that they are embodiments of the fruit of their virtues, they will accordingly also be full of humility. So the second authority that you can have is the authority of religion, or we use the word dharma. Dharma translated as a way of being, your most profound way of living in this world, your principles of living in peace, in non-violence, your way of relating to other souls. What is your religion or your dharma prescribing in your way of interacting with others? And different souls have different religions, different dharma. And each religion is prescribing peaceful interactions. They are prescribing seeing others like yourself. They are supporting you to lead a pure life. They are telling you how to connect and to have a relationship with the Supreme Soul. Each religion uses a unique name for the Supreme Soul. Each religion describes the reward that you will get by following that dharma, that way of living. Now, how can you have this highest authority, the authority of your original religion, your original way of being? And it is mentioned that purity gives you that authority. Purity means that you are aware that you are a soul, and the soul is eternal, divine, belongs to a world that is of the unlimited. It is a world that is immortal, a world of light, and you belong here with a Supreme Soul, and you are aware that the body is just a costume, and the name is the name of the body, and you are not influenced by anything nor anyone in that material play. That is purity. Purity means you are so well grounded in your eternal reality that nothing of the temporary material association can shake your mind. And when you have that unshakable attitude, when you remain stable with that vision, then you will be able to impact many others. Souls around you will become pure. Whether they want it or not, they will start to renounce all the dependencies, all the anger, all the lust and the greed. They will feel it's not appropriate, it's not beneficial to them. They will develop dislike. They will say, what is this dirt here? What is this rubbish of vice? There is no need of lust in the life of any human soul. No need of anger. Ego is so outdated. We no longer need ego. That is a power of purity, the power to transform. Religion, Dharma, has that power to transform your life. And when you transform your life, others will follow. They will be transformed by one word. You will say one word, and when you will meet again that soul, they will say, oh, but do you know how much I changed since I met you? I made that changed, and I changed my lifestyle, and I'm changing now the way I work because you said something. That is a power of your religion based on purity. Such a power will always make you be humble. And that is a sign that you've got it right. If you want to have any authority based on temporary attainment, if you think you have authority because you are smart and you work well and others like you, but all of that are temporary based, then that will not gonna show humility. But when humility is in place, when your true way of being is authentic, is of the soul, is based on purity, then humility will be your decoration in a natural way. And others will circle around you. Nothing is loved more than humility. And no one really likes to hang around with people that have a big ego. You don't have to do anything else, just be humble. If you are able to be naturally and authentically and truthfully humble and have no ego about what you do or what you are, you will find a crowd around you. And don't worry about the human crowd. Even that may not be there, but you will find a crowd of angels around you. Angels will just fly around you. Angels will gather around you and will help you to come closer to the Supreme Soul. Angels will hold your hand and will bring you the most beautiful experiences and decorations just because you value humility in your life. So, authority of your true way of being is always making you firm. You're not going to fluctuate. If you keep on fluctuating, not being able to remain firm, not being able to remain unshakable, it means you have to remove something that is mixed in your religion, something that is external, has been added very recently. Maybe a little bit of greediness, maybe a little bit of anger, maybe a little bit of your own opinion. I know better than you. I have my own ideas. No, in the authority of the true religion, what the Supreme Soul is giving everyone as their way of living, as their way of behaving, and also their way of interacting, that is good enough for all of us. No need to create my own separated way of being. You all are good and smart, but I'm going to be in my own corner. No, there is unity, there is cooperation, and there is loveliness in our interactions. Now, if the present is in the authority of being a ruler, ruling your mind as a king, if the present is in the authority of your original religion of purity of soul consciousness, then the future is very, very bright. And this is your practice for today. Gain that trust, that conviction that you can see your very beautiful and bright future ahead of you. And by creating that bright future for yourself, you are inspiring many others to create a beautiful future for themselves. And the two words are authority and ruling your mind and having the authority of your original religion. Enjoy your day, and we'll meet again tomorrow at the same time. Bye-bye.